Beauty Diaries.
Hello, welcome to Beauty Diaries. I am Namuri Etemioya. How do you smell? I asked you, how do you smell? Do you use any perfume? And what is a perfume? We'll get to know this in the course of the program because we're talking perfumes today. Perfumes are made for human beings, animals, yes, animals, food, and different things. So let's bring to you this package we have for you on perfumes, and then you get to meet our guests as we talk about perfumes, scents, and the business of perfumes in Nigeria. Stay tuned.
Beauty Diaries.
When we smell a particular fragrance, we instantly and unconsciously connect that smell to a portion of our memory. Smell can evoke feelings and bring back memories that we forgot we had. Perfume is, quite simply, a mastery of some of the most frequent scents and the artful combination to produce a unique smell for an individual. The word perfume is used today to describe scented mixtures and is derived from the Latin word perfumus, meaning through smoke. The word perfumery refers to the art of making perfumes. Perfume was further refined by the Romans and the Persians and the Arabs. To understand perfume, we will need to start at its inception back in the time of the ancient Egyptians. Now, Egyptians were responsible for the origin of perfume. They utilized scents in everything from religious ceremonies to burial preparations and even daily wear. The rich elites of Egyptian society, male and female alike, would adorn themselves with aromas like lily to denote their status. The Persians took over the use of perfume as a sign of political status, but it wasn't until the Greeks and Romans became acquainted with it that it began to be viewed as a form of art and produced en masse and in consistent quality. It was the Greeks who created the first perfumes to be worn on the skin. By grinding aromatic plants, resins, and herbs and blending them with oils, they created a new trend for aromatherapy and everyday fragrances. Away from the history and origin of perfumes, in Nigeria, the perfume market has evolved as most people are in the business of mixing and selling perfumes. How well do you know the perfumes you use? Welcome to Beauty Diaries with Namuri.
Beauty Diaries.
You're welcome back. This is Beauty Diaries and we're talking perfumes. I'm sure from the report you saw earlier, you know what we'll be discussing today. Now, with me on the program is the master perfumer. That's how he likes to be called. Mr. Adewale Aladejana, thanks for joining us on the program. You're welcome. Let's get to know more about you first before we get into the business of perfumes. How did it all start for you and why perfumes?
Okay, for as long as I could remember, I could smell perfumes. If you use a perfume near me, I can tell you, and you know, I know the name. I could 2 years later, 3 years later, I could tell you, oh, anywhere in the world, even if it's not you, I could tell, oh, that's the perfume you are wearing, and that's the name.
That means you have a special gift for it.
Yes.
A sense of smell.
Yes, and I did not know that it was a gift, you know, and I just used to do that for people. I'll walk past someone and I'll call them back and say, oh, that's the perfume you're wearing. I'll be like, wow, how did you know? You know, I never thought there was anything to it until 2015, you know, when I'd just been transferred from, you know, my former office to Abuja. It was a very nasty one. No transportation, no accommodation, you know, and life was starting all over again. And you know, but you know, we had been through a couple of things, you know, sleeping mattress on the floor, you know, very rough period of time. And April of that year was my wife's birthday, and I just wanted to appreciate her for staying with me throughout all the, you know, the crazy period. And so my salary was 130, so I took out that money, bought her a phone and a gold chain. But by the time I bought those two, my salary had finished. Okay. You know, and we had like a month to go. I had a baby that I had to use Pampers. She was eating as if she was on steroids or something. You know, and I began to think, what can I do for money? And then I had a couple of friends that started using, you know, this fragrance called oud. It was really different, you know. Don't forget I had a gift, so I smelled this perfume they were using, and I knew that, wow, this is different, this is special. So I began to ask questions, where can I get this? And they said, oh, you can get in the Middle East, you can get in Dubai precisely, and all of that. And one of my friends was coming in, so I said, get me a bottle of this perfume, and let's see what can happen. So she brought me the bottle, and the idea came to me to start selling. So after doing all my research, you know, I couldn't go to Dubai to buy, obviously, but I found some Hausa people that were selling at the cheapest, you know, any kind of oud at all. You know, even in that crazy shop where they had all sorts, you know, my nose could refine and say that, okay, this one can sell, this one will not sell. You know, and I remember I had 30,000 naira. I put that money together, bought like 4 or 5 bottles of perfumes, did my research on social media, you know, on internet about oud and all of that. And what I found was really, really interesting. So I put this picture, I took a picture, put it on social media, and begin to tell people about, oh, you need to try this perfume. This is what kings wear. You have not used it. You have not even started using perfumes. You know, like that. In 3 months of selling, every morning I'll go to the office, put up the picture. Before I come back to my desk, people will make inquiries. You know, if they're not in Abuja, break time, I'll quickly run to Chisco Motors, send them the perfume. They send money into my account. You know.
So you were buying these perfumes in Nigeria, mixing for people? No,
I had not even started mixing them.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was just buying what I could find. You know, that was oud that I just knew that people would buy. You know, and 3 months of doing that, I made like ₦1 million. You know, 10 months later, I was able to quit my job of 4 years and focused on sapphire scents. Okay. So it was after that you know, because, you know, people, when they see that something is doing well, they want to start getting the same thing. Okay. So now you would have people begin to copy you, you know. And, you know, I was still doing all of this small time until I had an online store on Konga. And then I made my first sale, and I went to see my pastor, Pastor Biodun Fatombi of Koza. And I said to him, sir, this is what has been happening to me and all that. He said, well, come and see me. That was August 24, 2015. And I went to see him, and he said, Wale, there's something on you. How can you be selling 2 types of perfumes? It was just like, it's either you're selling mango and melon juice. If people don't buy mango, they buy. He said, you're selling just 2 types, and people are buying every day. It's either people like you a lot, or there's just something on you. But this is what I want you to do. I want you to travel. Go and meet manufacturers, make good deals with them, start bringing in these perfumes in bulk. And I was just looking at him like, you don't know this is going to cost a lot of money. So next thing, he brought out his checkbook, and I'm like, oh, he wants to encourage me, you know, that kind of thing. And then he began to write, and I think, yeah, Pastor wants to help me. He will give me, don't think about at least 100,000. But if you think more than 100,000, you're a thief. Why would somebody give you more than that? And then he handed me this check, and it was ₦1 million. Wow. And I was just blown away. And then he said, and he prayed, he said, Wale, this money will not finish. Go and explode, go and take over.
Now let's talk about the different types of perfumes.
Right.
Earlier you said oud, you know, and then we have oud de toilette and oud de perfume.
Right. Yeah.
When you say oud, you know, jokingly or, you know, jovially, some people say some of these hard perfumes are so robias. Yeah. So let's talk about oud. Yeah. You know, what is oud? Oud? No, it's not oud the perfume anyway. No, it's called oud. Yeah. You know, tell us about oud.
Okay, oud is a fragrance that is gotten from the bark of some trees in Indonesia and Asia, parts of Asia. It's really, really very rare. You know, it produces a resin, you know, that now releases this substance that is precious, that is called oud. So it's really, really very scarce. It's very expensive. It's usually called liquid gold. Okay. You know, because it costs a little fortune. And so they get that in Asia, and then they bring it to other parts of the world. They begin to dilute in pieces, sell in pieces, and that is what oud is. You know, there are lots of perfume lovers, but there are people that understand oud. There are people that don't quite get it.
So what about oud de perfume? Okay. Because I know that oud de perfume stays longer than oud de toilette. Right. So apart from staying longer, what are the processes of making oud de perfume and oud de toilette?
Okay, so we have like 3-4 varieties. There's oud de cologne.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
There's oud de toilette, there's oud de parfum, and then there's parfum. You know?
Okay.
So oud de cologne is it's usually based on percentages. Oud de cologne usually has maybe like 1 to 5% of oil. Remaining is ethanol, right? Oud de toilette has a higher percentage, maybe like 7% to 8%. That's oud de toilette. So 8% oil 92% ethanol or alcohol. Then eau de parfum is usually higher, like 10%, 15%. Craziest, which is the ones we are trying to start making now, 20% oil, and then remaining 80% ethanol. Then perfumes are the concentrates, which are also called attars, which is what we sell as sapphire scent, 100% oil.
Did you say attars?
Yes, attars.
What's that?
Attar simply means concentrated perfume oil.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Again, which is has no ethanol in it, which is pure oil. So they're usually more expensive. They last longer. They have a longer sealage. They come in smaller quantities because a small bottle of attar or perfume is enough to make a big bottle of perfume.
Okay. Now let's talk about the perfume market in Nigeria. Right now, how is it doing? What is it like?
Well, it's going bigger every day. Because you see, Nigerians, we are very fashionable people. We are very fashion conscious people. And guess what, in Nigeria, nobody likes to smell cheap. Nobody. You get. That's why Smart. We have all types of fragrances. There's a particular one top called Smart. It's an imitation of all types. And it doesn't even last, but people just like to, at least I'm using Versace all day. It's not. So Nigerians don't like to smell cheap. And with sapphire scents and what we have around now, there's a growing embrace of the market. Because everybody wants to use perfumes, everybody wants to use good perfumes. Our biggest encouragement has been Nigerians. All the people that's helped us, all our over 300 distributors everywhere are Nigerians. Even all over the world, they're Nigerians. So there's a big market. There's a big market, and it can only grow bigger as purchasing power rises.
That's interesting. So how about spotting an original and a fake? If I know a little bit about perfumes, I would say it's probably looking at the cover, the packaging, and knowing that, okay, this is a fake perfume. Even abroad, you get to see fake perfumes.
Absolutely.
So how do you manage that? And how are you able to protect such in Nigeria, knowing that the market in Nigeria for perfume owners in Nigeria is, coming up gradually?
Well, the thing is, just like they always say that the taste of the pudding is in the eating. The same goes for perfumes. Say for instance, a perfume is an EDP, right? And then you spray it.
What's
and then EDP, eau de parfum.
Okay.
EDP has a higher concentrate of oil to ethanol, So when you spray a bottle of EDP, and then all the spirit and everything is running like this, there's something wrong with that perfume. Because an EDP is supposed to stand solid. You spray it, it stays.
Okay.
You understand? It stays. It's close to oil. So it's not as fluid as eau de cologne, not as fluid as, and then the lasting power too. There are certain things to look for in perfume. Look at the color.
Yes.
If you've been using a perfume for a long time, you definitely have an idea of what the color is like. Some perfume you spray them, then you see yellow stain. Some you see some blue stain. Some is like goldish brown. So all these colors. So this is a perfume that you've been using, and then you spray it. The color is number one different. The smell is different, and then the stain power is not like what it used to be. Just know that there's absolutely something wrong with that perfume. Another challenge could be the storage, because perfumes don't like heat. If you keep your perfume in the car, the sun beats it all the time. You can't really vouch for the quality all the time. That's why we always store in a cool, dry place.
Okay.
So that's it.
Now you've just talked about all the perfume, and how to detect the fake and the real.
Yes.
Now, I over time I've noticed some people spray perfumes on their shirts, which brings me to, where do you spray your perfumes? Okay, great. It depends. Some perfumes don't stain, right? Some perfumes are like the color is like water, like transparent. Okay. So if you spray those ones, it won't stain. But there are pulse points. To get the best results out of perfumes, you should spray on your pulse points, which is back of your wrist, back of your ears, your ankles. What do you call it? Elbows. In between your elbow, yes, your elbows, even your ankles, and then your hair, and if you're a guy, your beards, and then also spray from far. That's if you are using spray ones, like sapphire perfumes, and they are oil. So you just drop those on your pulse points and all of that, and you're good. Oh, that's interesting. Right. Now, let's talk about choosing a fragrance. Having talked about where and how to spray a perfume, are there different body types that agree, so to say, with perfumes, because there are some perfumes you would use, I would like and want to use it, but it will not smell or the aroma will not be the same on me as it is on you.
Absolutely. And that's a very interesting question, because we get that all the time, you know. So what we do, some perfumes that last, I'm walking at the bar, or my friends come to me, I'll be like, oh, I don't like it. It doesn't even smell anything.
Yes.
And I'm always like, what are you talking about? About body types. Oily skin, there are some perfumes that do very well on oily skin. There are some that do very well on dry skin, you know. So you should also know the kind of person, you know. For instance, if you sweat a lot, you know, and you use a perfume, a mild perfume, nobody will ever get to smell it. But if you sweat a lot and you use a loud perfume, you get your body heat, especially if you are using oil, will keep on radiating it, you know. So those are some of the things to watch out for in using perfume. Body types, yes, very important.
Okay. All right, we're still talking perfumes, but we'll be back after this break. It's time to go to the makeup room. Let's see what we have in the makeup room today. Stay tuned.
Beauty Diaries.
Okay, now it's time for us to tie gele at the Abuja Makeup Fair, and I am with someone I met on YouTube, and I was awed by his work. I told you earlier that it is not just women that are in this business, and with me I have it. It's known as Ego Gele. So tell me, how did you learn this art?
Oh, I learned gele. I think it's one of the creative things I've ever come across, because I play with gele. I see gele as my day-to-day life.
How? How did it all
Not
start?
that my mom is a fan of gele or my sister they are fan of gele.
Yes.
But I just have the passion, like I have to go deep in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you learn from somewhere, or you just on your own
if I say I
created your
learned,
art?
if I say I did not learn, I'm just lying. At least I have friends that tie gele, so I just stood by them, and I think that's where the
Them
thing from
tie.
here.
Okay, so Ego is going to do a quick one for us, and we'll be sure that you won't see the secrets of the trade, so that you can call on Ego to tie your gele for you.
My hand in the air one time for all of my African women. I'm singing la 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 to all of my African women. You're beautiful. 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 Oh yeah. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. When you see I'm the waka, it be like say na angel they pass. She no get wahala. She know say she be very high class. She no need the makeup. It's a natural something. You are beautiful. Oh, you are beautiful. I put my hand in the air one time for all of my African women. I'm singing la 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 to all of my African women. You're beautiful. 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 You're beautiful.
So this is a gele.
Interesting. This is beautiful. Wow.
So this is data fashion gele.
All in place. And this takes you like how many minutes?
5 minutes or 4.
This is interesting.
Beauty Diaries.
You're welcome back from the makeup room. I am sure you had you learned something from what we brought to you. We're still talking about perfumes, and with me is Mr. Aladejana, the master perfumer of Sapphire Scent. I hope I got that right. So we'll go on from where we stopped. Apart from knowing people that, you know, people that should use perfumes if you're oily, if your skin is oily or dry, there's still some people that have body odor after using perfume. So there is a mix. How can you curtail that or, stop such?
When it comes to body odor, I've learned that different types. Some people have body odor because they don't take care of themselves. Some people have body odor because it's a medical issue for some people,
Okay.
So at that point, you need to look for, if you are going to try to use perfume to mask it, you have to look for sealage, right? We have some perfumes that last for 48 hours. You get? So yeah.
2 days?
Yeah, 48 hours.
I
That's
want
actually
that.
the name. It's actually called 48.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
So that kind of thing. And you can't use spray perfume, that kind of person. You have to use oil, and that kind and you have to use, because another thing about perfume is, although some perfumes stay, perfume is like volume, right? If you want a lot, you want to smell a lot, you use a lot. If you want to use a little, you use a little. Although on the average it will, 6 to 10 hours,
Yes.
the average perfume will stay, right? But it depends on what you're trying to achieve. So someone that has a lot of odor, right, might want to use a lot of perfumes. You get, and what will help at the same time is use a perfume that will last, that is strong, at the same time is not choking everybody.
Yes.
Some people use some perfumes and everybody is just coughing.
Exactly.
But there's a way perfume can be strong, it can be appealing at the same time too. So that's it.
I know you do some kind of business with the young ones when it comes to, what is it all about?
Okay, it's the Sapphire Sense distributorship.
Oh, I see.
I got to a stage where people were like, how can I be a part of your business? And from my own experience, I was just trying to make extra income, and it became a business, So I felt like, yes, lots of other people too. There are lots of people that are earning salaries. I can't do anything for them. You want to pay house rent, your children are in school, you have to fix your car, and guess what? Just like I was, probably your salary was 120 or 130. You need to make extra money, And so we started getting people to register as distributors, with 150,000. You can register as a distributor. You get perfumes worth 250K. We make 100K on the side, And it's simple. I'm working at the bank, or my friends come to visit during the break time. Hey, I sell perfumes on your Facebook instead of all that Snapchat picture, Instagram posing, all those slay, whatever.
Make some money while at it.
Make some money while at it. That's why I did it. Works for me. So I felt like anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. And right now we have over 300 distributors in 19 states of Nigeria, UK, US, Ghana, Canada, Cyprus, Ireland. And we're growing every day.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. How about being able to bring in your raw materials and, talking about the business.
Yes.
So I'm sure most of the things you use are not in Nigeria.
Yes.
What are the challenges you face when you have to bring in most of your raw materials?
Well, first of all, the dollar rate, the fluctuations of the dollar, cargo and all of that. And then, the regulatory bodies, they've been very, very helpful. Now that can stand the organization of Nigeria, we are working very closely with them to make sure that we are doing the proper thing. We went to them ourselves because we wanted to make sure that we are doing the right thing. And they've been very, very, very helpful. So it's one of those things. Okay.
Now, before we round off, we've talked about oud the perfume, oud the toilette, oud the cologne, and then the spray. I noticed I didn't talk about frankincense and myrrh, which is not common. But I know you have a brand and you say oud, frankincense, and myrrh.
Yes.
Frankincense and myrrh takes us back to the Bible,
yes.
the three wise men.
Yes.
And so when you use frankincense and myrrh, how does it apply to your kind of perfumes?
Okay, what I noticed from the beginning was, after doing my research on oud, frankincense, myrrh, these are actually three bodies of perfumes that in history, if you go through your Bible, you see lots of references to this kind of fragrances. They were the royalty of fragrances. They were the stuff that very eminent people used to use. Okay. And that was the essence I was trying to bring back into the perfume world. I didn't want to create random perfumes. I didn't want to create... Somebody was telling me recently that when a rich man walks in somewhere and you smell his perfume, it's different from... You're always wondering what he's wearing, and that's what we try to do. We try to bring that to the average stylish and classy person. You don't have to break the bank. Although it's not 5,000 naira. Okay. But at the same time, you don't have to break the bank. to smell very classy and stylish. So that's what we try to do. And so from the Middle East, I would source these ones, and then we'll bring them to Nigeria, and then find out the best materials that work with them and create our own line of fragrances.
Okay.
So that's what we've done as Sapphire Essence.
Interesting. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Beauty Diaries today. We really appreciate all the information you've given us. Follow us on our different social media platforms. That of Mr. Aladejana is there. I don't mind, I call him Mr. Aladejana. I can't stop. Follow him, follow me. Ask your questions. We'll be ready to answer you. And of course, give you some more tips on the perfumes to use, how to use them, and where you can get them. That's it on Beauty Diaries. My name is Namure Edemioya. See you same time next week. Thank you for staying with us.
Beauty Diaries.